Welcome to Real Estate Essentials. I'm your host, Jay Deere. We all have a friend or family member that got an incredible deal on a home, but the question is how'd they do it? Well, if you pay attention to this show, I want to show you some of that insight. I'm Jay Deere. I've been on top of Utah's real estate market for over 10 years. I will show you things about this market that you never knew. So we're coming to you today from Bengt Erlandsson's Design Studio, and I'm here with Matt Schultz with US Luxury Group.
How's it going, Jay?
Good, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us back.
Okay, so now tell me a little bit, for the people that haven't been watching, tell me a little bit about what you guys do. Of course, you do high-end luxury auctions, right?
We do. We actually call it a luxury asset divestiture. What we do is we partner with the seller of the home as well as their current listing agent. And if they don't have an agent, we can work directly with the seller. But we're a licensed Utah real estate broker. And we're licensed for the purpose of being compliant. We don't list properties, we don't act as a traditional realtor, but what we do is we work with the agent and the seller to create an accelerated marketing program, and over the course of 4 weeks, we get a ton of exposure for the property. And at the end of that 4-week period, it culminates in an auction. So effectively what we do is we sell real estate much the same way that Sotheby's or Christie's might sell a piece of fine art.
Yeah, exactly. And now does this work for every property?
Because of the fact that we have an extensive marketing budget, it really isn't super effective for a property below about $1 million threshold, which coincides with where the strength in the market starts to soften.
Yeah.
Those upper end properties, as you well know, they take a bit longer, and so
because there's so few buyers.
Exactly.
And so hard to get them to look at.
Correct. And when you consider the cost to carry, sometimes it makes a lot of sense to create a more urgent approach to selling the property. And so when we work with the agent, actually nothing changes. They remain a listing agent. They host the open houses with us. We just simply work as their partner by creating a tremendous amount of traffic to come through the property. Ultimately, what our system does is it creates competition and urgency. So there's an end date, so the seller of the home knows a very specific time period that they're going to be done with that property and ready to move on to the next phase of their life.
Yeah, and so now you just finished up one, right? If you're paying attention to the show, is the Good Karma Lodge, and what was, how'd that whole thing shake out?
Terrific house. We did a ton of footage there, and you were kind enough to come and do a number of episodes. A fantastic house, indoor pool, 13,000 square feet, 6 acres. It was beautiful. And the day of the auction, we actually had a number of people that were interested in it. We had one couple, they actually appeared on one of our episodes, a retired physician, and he and his wife had a tremendous interest in the property, but they had an issue that caused them to not be able to perform on the day of the auction. So they made an offer to the seller of the home in excess of the listing price, just to allow them to complete their process, because there was such competition and there was such demand.
So they didn't want to go to the auction.
That's exactly right. So we actually didn't even hold the auction, and we produced a result for Keith Rosberg that was premium to what he even had listed. So it was a terrific result for everybody.
That's great. Okay, so what projects are you working on now? What new houses are we going to be featuring?
We've got a number of different cool projects we're working on. As you know, you traveled to Montana with us, and we checked out the
beautiful part of the state, right?
Yeah, right.
Looked at a beautiful bread and breakfast. It was
right on the river.
Very nice.
Fantastic home and bed and breakfast lodge, recreation area. It's got a wedding center. So there's some interest in us assisting them in moving that property. We've also got a couple of properties in the Gulf of Mexico, on the Gulf of Mexico, in the Gulfport Biloxi area. But locally, we've got a really cool project. We're working with a couple of local real estate agents that are also developers that bought a property a couple of years ago, and it's in the Olympus Cove area of Salt Lake City. Are you familiar with that?
Right up on the hill, right?
Yeah, it's as high as you can get.
Oh, yeah.
It's the furthest east property up there, and it just happens to be on the west side of the road, so it's got unobstructed views of the entire valley, and it's a funky, cool house. It's square, copper roof, ton of glass.
So like super modern?
It's fantastic modern. It's in fact, when we were meeting today, we talked about the fact that this home, you could literally pull it up and put it down in Dana Point and it would fit right in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love that. Okay, good. So if somebody was looking, if they had a high-end property that they were looking to maybe get involved and listen to what you guys have to say, how would they contact you guys?
Well, our website has a lot of information about what we do, who we are, what our process is. We're not traditional real estate guys. But it talks a little bit about what we've done in the past, about different projects that we've all worked on, and the spin that we take on real estate and how we aggressively go about marketing and selling it. So all that information is on our website, and that's at www.usluxurygroup.com. And on the website, there's also a toll-free number, and it's manned during all business hours. So if anybody has any questions, or they can also contact us via email right off our website.
Great. Well, Matt, thanks so much for being on the show. We're excited to get involved in some of these new projects.
Thanks for having us again. It's been fun.
And here is our credit tip of the week, brought to you by Intermountain Credit Advocates.
Some consumers don't realize the impact of a credit inquiry on their credit profile. Now, if you happen to be applying for credit, what will happen is lots of inquiries show lenders and banks and financial institutions a certain level of distress in applying for credit. What you want to do is limit the number of inquiries you have on your credit profile. Now, how can you do this? Here's a credit tip for you. A lot of credit furnishers, including some of the major banks and credit unions, allow you to apply for credit cards softly on their website first before they pull your credit. You can go and enter unique pieces of information like a name and last four social security number, and they can pre-qualify you on their website through what they call a soft pull before actually committing to the credit inquiry. And that way, you don't apply for credit that you don't end up getting and still have that negative impact on your profile. That's your credit tip of the week, brought to you by Intermountain Credit Advocates. Visit us at intermountaincreditadvocates.com.
ABC4 Utah wants you to ask the expert. During our 4 p.m. newscast, you'll see experts from Utah answering your questions on a variety of topics.
Options Animal is here to help you take control of your financial future.
Every Tuesday, we will answer your questions on the overall financial markets and how you can effectively manage your own investments.
At Options Animal, we understand that nobody cares more about your money than you do.
Just go to abc4.com/expert and submit your questions to our experts today.
So I'm here with Chad Holmes with Landmark Home Warranty. And Chad, do you know what the number one reason for a lawsuit in a real estate transaction is?
I'm not sure, Jay. What is it?
It's actually buyers suing sellers because they didn't disclose something.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it is interesting.
And the reason why is, you fill out these disclosures about stuff, and let's say a buyer buys a property, seller fills out, says they haven't had a problem with the furnace. They actually had this happen. Buyer moves into the house, closes on it, moves into the house. A month later, furnace blows up.
Right.
Now, before, they had no choice but to go after the seller and try and sue him, say, you knew the furnace was bad, you just didn't tell us, right?
Right.
But the seller's sitting over there saying, well, we had no problems with the furnace, we didn't know. Because sometimes it's just, you never know, it's like a car, you buy a brand new car and the thing,
Right.
It was great when they sold it, but then all of a sudden the new buyer and the thing breaks. Right. And so we actually have this process, right? And this is exactly what you do, which is home warranties to cover this sort of issue, right?
Absolutely, that's what it's there for.
And I actually had this happen. You helped me out with this. I actually had a seller or a buyer that closed on the house, and they moved into it. And I kid you not, it was probably about 2 months later. Furnace blows up, and he called and thanked me, and he just said, Jay, I thank you so much for getting that home warranty on that thing, because it saved my butt. Because what do you do, right?
Absolutely, and that's what it's there for.
So tell me a little bit more about what you guys do and how it works.
So what we do is we cover the home buyer for a period of 1 year after they close on the major systems of their home. So their air conditioning, their furnace, the electrical, plumbing, appliances. And so if there is a problem after they move in, it's just like they said, you call our office, we send out the appropriate repair person. Homeowner pays a service fee.
How much is that?
It's $60.
$60 to have a professional come out?
Absolutely. Okay. And then we come out, diagnose it, find out what's going on. We either make repairs or we'll do replacements if necessary, if the contractor deems that it just can't be fixed properly.
Yeah, that's what they did. They actually got a brand new furnace.
Yeah, so it works out great.
How much? I don't know. It must have been like a $3,000 furnace, probably.
Yeah, and we work through, those issues with the homeowner, determine what's going on, give them options so they know through the process what to expect. And then, if it does need to be replaced, we'll go through that with them and make sure that they're comfortable in the process of putting that together.
Yeah, great. Now, who normally pays for this sort of thing?
Here's the beauty of it. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, so what happens most of the time that I see it is the sellers are paying for the warranty in the buyer's behalf.
Because the buyer writes the contract, right? And they send it over, because I always ask this question, do you want the home warranty or not?
Right.
Of course they want the home warranty, and who's going to pay for it? Well, who do you want to? Do you want to pay for it? Do you want the seller to pay for it?
Right.
And it's just one of those things. And I always, I tell you, I always pitch it. I always say, because it's true, get a home warranty. Because the last thing I don't know about this house. I never lived in it. I don't know much about it. I mean, we walk through it, we get home inspectors and stuff, but really don't know.
Sure.
And so we want to make sure that because in the end, I just want to make sure my clients are taken care of and satisfied, right?
Right.
And so the nice thing is, so when we write those things out, we always, we would always want the sellers to pay for it because the buyer writes the contract, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I just did one though, was the first one I did where we split it 50-50.
Yeah.
Because I was actually what they called a limited agency, where I was sitting down with both buyer and seller, and I was sitting with them. I said, well, of course I wrote it with the buyer, and then I met with the seller. So, well, actually let me take that back. I actually hadn't written the contract. I was on the phone with the buyer because they were going out of town or something. I was literally writing the contract in front of them and said, okay, home warranty. And I kind of explained it to them both on the phone. And I said, well, what do you guys want? Yeah, they both wanted it. And they said, well, can we just split it 50-50? And so that's how it all worked out.
And it can work out that way. It can work out anyway, really. And if the seller isn't going to pay for it, like in the instance, sometimes banks won't pay for them.
That's true. On short sales, they will not pay for home warranty.
Right. So the buyer can still buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still available to them. And
How much does one of these things cost?
So our policies start at $300, and then they go up from there depending upon the options that you add to it.
And the time, right?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And so a normal one is about a year, right?
About a year. Yep, it covers it for a period of 1 year. And then the homeowner can, if they want to, renew it as long as they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great, and it protects them for as long as they want to have it in force.
Yeah, and I know you guys do a tremendous job. That's why I brought you on the show. There's a lot of people that I can choose from, but I know about your product and what you guys do, and your company stands behind it, so I really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and we would love to have happy homeowners,
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's got to buy a house and live in it, right?
That's exactly
Might as well
right.
enjoy it.
There you go, exactly.
So if they wanted to get a home warranty and they wanted to contact you, how would they get a hold of you?
So they can either go to our website, which is landmarkhw.com, or they can call our toll-free number, 866-306-2999. They can catch us either way.
Chad, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Welcome to Market in a Minute. Been doing some numbers. If you were to buy a house back in August of 2012 versus buy it in August of 2013, the cost to buy that house right now is about 44% higher. And so that lends the question, is our market out of control? What should we be expecting? Well, interest rates are going up, and the job market is extremely strong here in Utah. So watch, the market's going to cool down a little bit as we go into the holidays, which is seasonal, which is expected. But as we get into spring, this thing's going to go again. And so if you're thinking about getting in the market, don't wait. Sometimes you can take advantage of really good deals, because sellers that are trying to sell their house during the holiday season will sometimes take deals that they will not take in spring, thinking that they're going to wait it out and get a better deal. So oftentimes you can really get some good deals during this time. So if you're in the market, don't stop now.
I woke up not knowing if I was going to feel sick that day, not knowing if I was going to be able to go to school or go to work.
I was extremely fatigued. I was sleeping probably close to 16 hours a day.
It was a hard way to live because you don't understand what's going on in your body, and you feel like you should be healthier in your habits, and you just feel horrible.
Are you suffering from low thyroid or Hashimoto's? Do you have any of these symptoms? Our breakthrough approach for low thyroid and Hashimoto's is here.
I feel like a regular healthy person.
So we're here at the Design Center with Bengt Erlandson, who is going to be the architect and the designer of the Utah's Dream Team. And thanks so much for coming, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Jay, for coming here.
Well, I'm excited to have you. I've wanted you on this program for a long time. When I first met you, I said, this is the guy that I want to have on this show, because your designs and the way you put these things together are incredible. And so I'm super excited that we're sitting here
We're
today.
excited to be working with you on these projects.
So tell me, how long you been in the business? How long you been doing remodels and stuff?
I've been doing design and architecture for about 20 plus years, for a long time.
Yeah. And so what do you specialize in? What have you been focusing on?
You know, I used to specialize in doing temples throughout the world.
Oh, really?
I used to travel all over the world. And
yeah, I noticed by that accent. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Sweden.
Oh, that's right. Okay, Sweden.
Yeah.
So go on. So you're doing a lot of temples.
So I was doing a lot of temples throughout the world, and then I just decided to have my own firm, which we're doing now. And we do a lot of residential work, commercial work, and remodels and renovations.
Yeah. And so what do you like most about doing renovations and all that kind of stuff? And
I think I just like the interaction with the people and seeing their visions come true as far as what they're envisioning their interiors to be and the design to be, and helping them with that.
I'm sure in those 20 years, a lot of things have changed in this business, haven't they?
A lot of things have changed. It's amazing what we can do nowadays. We can show our clients beforehand what the interior spaces are going to look like with photorealistic renderings and drawings.
Really? And so you can actually go on the computer and make it look like it exactly what it's going to look like?
We can.
So they can change the colors and modify things?
You would not be able to tell the difference between a photograph and a rendering.
Really?
We can put the exact colors, the exact fabrics, all the finishes in the renderings to make them look like photographs.
That's incredible. Well, I'm super excited to have you on the program, and the stuff that we're going to do. I'm excited to see your the before and your renderings and the finished product.
Me too.
So, if somebody wanted to contact you, if they wanted to be involved in the show and have their remodel feature on the show, how would they contact you?
Yeah, I think it would be a fun thing for people to be on a Utah show where they can feature their projects. And
I know they do it nationally. Why not show off art? We have beautiful real estate here and lots of stuff to remodel and redo, right?
Exactly. We have beautiful real estate and beautiful homes and beautiful buildings. And if they wanted to be involved, they can call us at 801-618-6947 or come by our studio.
Where's that at?
It's at 579 East, 100 South, Salt Lake City.
Great. Well, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Thank you, Jay.
Searching down home flyers is so 1980s. If you are ever driving around and you find your dream neighborhood, all you need to do is download Jade's free mobile app. Using this app, you can search for homes, investment properties, and vacant land available using your phone's GPS. What you need to do is text JSLC to 87778. Text JSLC to 87778.
So we're here with Zach with Husky Landscaping, and so Zach, are we in a drought?
We're always in a drought. We're in Utah.
Okay, so I guess we're hoping for a good winter this year, but we're not sure just yet, right?
Yeah, everyone needs to either pray for snow or just hope for snow, I guess.
Okay, so if let's say we don't get snow and we have another bad year, let's talk about Xeriscape and what that might look like.
The best thing is just remember that we need to conserve water. We're in a desert. Everyone knows that. We talked about that before, and we want to design accordingly so that if there is a drought year, we can cut back on water, not have to watch all of our money go down the drain in dying because they're not getting the water that they need.
Exactly. Now you have a project that you were just working on where a lady wanted to do a xeriscape, right, as they call it, and there was some sort of issue or something. What was that?
Yeah, the neighbors, didn't like it. They didn't
like the idea, right? Because they didn't know.
Yeah, it was just, I think they were ignorant to the fact of what it was, and it's not the typical grass everywhere and kids running on it. She is a single lady. She doesn't have the budget to be able to maintain it or can't do it herself. She has health problems. So she wanted to put in a Xeriscape so that she could save money on water and she could, save money on maintenance also.
Yeah, because she wouldn't have to take care of it, right?
Exactly.
That's the beauty with it.
The neighbors even went to as far as getting a petition together to send to the city so that they would stop, and the city was like, what are you guys talking about? This is what we want. We want you to do this because, we're in a desert and we want to conserve on water.
Now, this was before the fact, though, right? Before it was done. This was kind of the idea. They were just so fearful.
Yeah, it was in the process. So she was coming to me going, I don't know if we should keep doing this. We need to go. I'm like, no, just keep doing what we're doing and just wait and see what happens.
And so what happened?
So the city actually gave her an award for the Clean and Beautiful Award of West Valley City.
Oh, really?
And, they...
And so how are the neighbors feeling now?
I think they're eating crow.
They are?
They can't really say anything.
And we've actually got some, we're actually showing it on the screen there so you can actually send some pictures. It's absolutely beautiful. You did a great job. And so is it like a typical job, or because Xeriscape can come in so many different, it can be big rocks and small rocks and...
Yeah, typically Xeriscape's a little bit more as far as like budget's concerned when your initial install, but you're going to save money. She's probably already paid for the project 2 or 3 times over in water savings.
That makes sense. So you pay a little bit up front because you got to pay for all the design and all the rocks and all the stuff that you put in there. But over the time, you don't have to maintain it. You just cut down on all the lawn care. Just the mowing the lawn every day. or every week, I guess in this case, right? I don't mow every day. Some they do. I know. I see some of those lots, but then you don't have to worry about all the watering too, and so it theoretically pays for itself.
It does. Over time, it really does.
And so are you doing more of these now, or what
yeah, we used to. 10 years ago, we'd do maybe one a year. Now we're doing one a month, maybe.
Oh, really?
Or not. The one you saw was a full-on 100% xeriscape in the front yard, but you can incorporate some of those design elements in your landscape and not have to do all just rock mulch and plantings that would just be drought tolerant, but you can add in some areas that you could enjoy but have that same theme and
so you can mix and match.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Because I know I had a half acre when I lived down in Linden, and it was a nightmare. I mean, to try and maintain, that's all I did. I used to like to go out on my boat, and I never did anymore because all I did was maintain that big yard.
Exactly.
It was horrible. Yeah. So yeah, xeriscape would have come in handy.
So you kind of have to match your personality and see what you need in your landscape, and that's we sit down and have that consultation and see what.
And this is what you guys do. You go in and design it and help them see the big picture.
Exactly. And you need to remember though, it's not for everybody. Like if she tried to resell her home, she's only going to attract a certain demographic of people that would want that in their yard.
But she could go in there and modify it afterwards and then add some grass or something, right?
Yeah, a little bit you could, but like in her yard, she kept her backyard just a normal standard landscape. So, but she cut her water bill in half basically by doing that.
Which was good for her.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can always, it's like anything else, you can redo it if it comes time to resell, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So you kind of design it for yourself and then redo it. Correct. Well, you always do a great job. I really enjoy having you on the show, buddy. Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, if they wanted to a xeriscape or do anything having to do, because you do everything, right?
I do.
You were just talking about building decks and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
We do. I can't say I because all of our crew. Yeah, exactly.
But you're the head, like, main guy, right?
Exactly.
You're the boss and
I'm
main
the man.
employee. Okay, but you point them in the right place. The head laborer, is that what you like to call it? Yeah. Okay, so if they wanted to get a hold of you, how would they contact you?
Just they go to huskieslandscaping.com or they can reach us at our phone number, 801-712-2575.
Great, buddy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate it.
Options Animal is here to help you take control of your financial future.
Every Tuesday, we will answer your questions on the overall financial markets and how you can effectively manage your own investments.
At Options Animal, we understand that nobody cares more about your money than you do.
You don't need someone dropping the ball on your mortgage. Recruit a professional, Darren Rhodes, Utah's Mortgage Pro. He's got the skills, speed, and experience to win the best financing for your home. So draft Darren today at utahmortgagepro.com.
So Darren, we're headed on down to Polo Club Court in the Equestrian States, right there in South Jordan. Beautiful property. One of the many things I liked about this property is, of course, their gorgeous landscaping.
That's a big lot. How big is that thing?
It's actually just over an acre, but it felt much larger than that, I'll be honest. Going inside, they've actually lived here for 13 years. They built it themselves and designed it themselves, and they did a really wonderful job. That light fixture you see right there in the picture actually came from Venice. Very tastefully done. The whole house was very classy and, and they had a lot of different styles that they mixed and matched together, and really just, this house flowed really, really well. The ceilings in that room must have been at least 20 feet tall, and those beautiful windows in there.
Is that looking out into the back?
Yes, the beautiful backgrounds that they just look out to, and all the decks. They got decks on either side of that. Headed on into the kitchen here, they actually designed the kitchen around that copper range hood, and also that kind of green sink. And that was kind of their idea behind the whole colors and design of this.
It looks like they even have 2 sinks.
Yeah, they got one in the center. Not
Right
only
on.
do they actually have 3 different kitchens in this house, one on each different level.
So there's 3 levels on the house?
Yeah. Well, it's a 2-story conventional, and then they've got a basement, which is it's a walkout basement, but it's more kind of a push-up basement. We'll see it here in just a little bit, where they actually push the basement out and then have a waterfall running down into it. And I really like this area. They were really, really creative. On the one corner of the house, which would be the north side, they built a master suite, which, we know what master suite is, where you normally have your master bedroom and you got your really nice master bath like this. But then they also wrapped in, going off of that, then they've got a sitting room to watch their movies, and then they've got their office walking through also. It's a really creative design. I haven't seen it done before. Going down to the basement here, you can see that walkout basement. They were really creative under the stairs. I always like that.
I think my daughter would love that.
Yeah, right. There you can see their walkout where they pushed it back. This is one of their other kitchens. Did you see the guy tuning his guitar there?
Yes, I did actually. Good background in music.
Yeah, it's right in their home theater room, which you got to have, right?
Absolutely.
Really nice craft room. They had a ton of storage in this house. Beautiful craft room. Then they had another separate craft room and storage to die for. Had it on the back deck, as you can see. Look at those grounds. Spectacular.
Is that part of the walkout basement there?
Yeah, you can see how that just kind of, they step down into there. So Darren, what would financing look like on this property?
Well, the list price appears to be $1,695,000. So you're going to be in that jumbo range again. That would mean that you'd want 25% down in this price range, which would put you at $423,000 and a little bit. So your loan amount's going to be just shy of $1.3 million. And if your APR is sitting at 5.8 on a 30-year fixed mortgage, you would expect your payment to be just over $7,000 a month, exactly $7,378. But remember, that does not include taxes and insurance. That's just your principal and interest portion.
Beautiful property. Look at, they got their own putting green, and I practiced all afternoon so I can make this one shot.
Boom.
Thanks for tuning into this week's show. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, we'd like to feature your experience on our program. Look us up on Facebook at Real Estate Essentials with Jay Deere. Now remember, real estate is all about timing and local knowledge, and that's what we go over here on Real Estate Essentials.